for Claire Malkie!
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Joe. Joe and I did a show together on this very stage earlier this summer, if you were watching Huggable Riot at all. But if anyone knows me, they know that I really, really hate doing laundry. It is the worst thing ever. You have to bring it all the way downstairs, then bring it all the way back up, and it's just too much for me. You know, laundry was one of those chores I never had to do as a child, so when I arrived at adulthood, I was really upset when I would let my dirty clothes pile up and the laundry fairy didn't just sweep them away. So unfair. And the other thing about laundry is whenever I put on a clean shirt, my tags always stick out, and my biggest pet peeve is when people come up to you and they're like, your tag is sticking out. And then they put their hands on my shoulder, tuck the tag in, and then kind of like rub my back a little gently. And I'm like, excuse me, stranger, like I did not ask you to do that. And they're always like, it's the mom in me. You know, I'm such a mom. I had to do it. I'm a mom. And I'm like, are you or are you 25? And the other thing that gets me is like, you would never go up to a rapper who had their pants like down around their knees and be like, oh my God, sweetie, let me just help you hike those up. Let me just help you do that. It's like, and the rapper's like, no, like I want it this way. Like this is the way I am. And she's like, these whippersnappers these days. Moms. So I am not originally from Chicago. I am from Washington, D.C. Woo! My friend Nell, right here, she grew up across the street from me. She's here tonight. And the thing about DC, it's great, but we've got some sort of awful neighbors that moved in about 3 years ago. Really decreased the property value. But they're going to Mar-a-Lago any day now, so not too worried about it. And if you follow sports, like I obviously do, you would know that the Washington Nationals, or the Nats as us locals call them, just won the World Series. Yeah. And me being a dedicated Nationals fan, I wore my red hat the next day, which I didn't take into account was also Halloween. So I got some really weird remarks. I sent like a Snapchat just about whatever. And my friend Abby snapped me back and she was like, Claire, oh my God, are you wearing a MAGA hat? And I was like, no, Abby, it's the Nationals. And this girl lived in Virginia for like 3 years, didn't know that. And she was like, I don't know, Claire, it's Halloween. People do some crazy shit. My next favorite response I got was this woman, and she was like, oh my God, you went to Wisconsin. And I was like, what? And she was like, you know, and I was like, oh, no, like the Nats. And no offense to Wisconsin, but like that W is like very straight and angular. The DC W is called the curly W, you know, we're more flowy. But the one that got me the most was I'm at work and I'm wearing my hat and I'm checking out this guy, like the cashier thing, not checking him out. And he goes, do you work at Walgreens? And I didn't quite hear him at first, so I'm like, oh yeah, there's a Walgreens like down Division. And he's like, no, like your costume. And at that point I was like, oh my God, no, it's the Washington Nationals, we just won the World Series. And at that point I realized he didn't care what I was talking about at all. The funny thing about hometowns is everyone wants to know where you're from. They want to know everything about it. It's like, what's your name? Where are you from? Like, I haven't lived in DC in like 4 years, but people still associate that with me. And you know what? Us girls, we are always trying to figure out where our guys are from. Because if we know your name and where you're from, we can find you anywhere on the internet. Anywhere. It's like, and girls are always trying to do this. They'll go up to at a bar, and they'll go up to a guy, they'll be like, where are you from? And he's like, Indianapolis. And she's like, oh my God, me too! And then her sorority sister is like, shut up, Brittany, you're from Long Island. But you know what? Cut Brittany some slack. She is just trying to make a connection, get to know someone. You know, that's really what it's all about, right? Meeting new people, having new experiences. No. We want to know where you're from, because if we can find you on the internet, you are less likely to murder us. Like, if I know where you went to elementary school, like, I know you're not going to kill me. Obviously. But the only thing that's better than dating someone from your own hometown is dating someone from your mom's hometown. That's right, my boyfriend right over there, he is from the same hometown as my mom. They went to rival high schools, and my aunt and uncle currently live a few blocks away from where his parents are from. And it was kind of funny because a few months into us dating, my mom was like, "Oh my God, Claire, like, can you get his address? Like, I have to know if he's from our old neighborhood." And I was like, is it too early for me to ask this, like, very personal, invasive question? And then I was like, no, it's for the family. I have to do it. And the best part was, he gave it to me without asking any questions. He was like, sure, here's my address. Great, works for me. You know, dating is it's a funny thing. A lot of my friends from college and in life are starting to get serious and, you know, get pets together and move in together. And some of my friends are even engaged, which I am super happy for them. But it's funny because they look at us and they go, "You're next. You're next. You're the next one. I can't wait for the engagement announcement." And it's really cute at first, but then it starts to get a little intimidating, and they're like, "You're next, you're next, ah, ah." It's like they're vampires and we're like their prey or something, you know? Like they're just trying to come after us. Like, give me some space. Man. But one day, it all kind of clicked. I looked at my boyfriend and I looked him deep into the eyes and I was like, I know what I need for us to make this forever. And that's a vibrator. And so we set a date, we set a time, we made an appointment, and we went to Igor's Dungeon. Yes, you all know where it is. It's right off Belmont. Don't pretend, I see you. And we went vibrator shopping. And there's a lot of things you need to take into consideration when you're finding a vibrator. You need the right shape, the right size, and obviously it has to be stunning. It has to outdo every other vibrator that you see every day, because you see them all the time. And you can't really try on vibrators. It's like a sanitary thing. It's a little difficult, but after a long and hard search, my boyfriend, he looked me right in the eyes and he said, "With this vibrator, I vow to give you an orgasm every single night." And I took his hand and I said, "I do." Thank you so much. That's me, you guys.